Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Kytia L'amour and I'm wearing sunglasses because I'm just too famous for you guys now. I have worked with celebrities and that makes me so cool. Just kidding. So you guys have asked me a couple of things about being in the entertainment industry. I've mentioned before that I'm an actress as well as a YouTuber and someone who does public speaking and talks about Jesus. So I wanted to go back into the deep old archives of the beginning of my career out here in Los Angeles. When I came out here, I had no plan. I just kind of jumped right in. And something that I was able to do was get into a lot of music videos, interestingly enough. And I did do a feature film, I did do some commercials, I did do some print work, and there were a few celebrities that I was able to work with. And this is something that people would ask me a lot about. The first thing, if I told them I was an actress, was, what have I seen you in? Are you on TV? Are you in the movies? And then the second thing would be like, oh my gosh, who have you worked with? What celebrities have you worked with? And the third thing would be, you have any crazy stories? Like, what crazy stories do you have? So I'm gonna answer number 3 probably next month when I talk more about my nightmare days on set, the craziest days I've had on set, which I've had a lot of those. But today I wanted to talk about the nicest celebrities I've worked with. This is not for the tea, for the gossip, for the shade. This is literally just nice celebrities I've worked with. However, I will say, disclaimer before, and I'll probably repeat this throughout the video, these are not people that I'm friends with, that I condone all of their behavior, everything that they do, everything that they've done, their music, their movies, anything. These are just people who I've worked with, who happen to be celebrities, and my experience with them on that particular project. I am not fangirling these people or anything like that. It's just interesting background of my career and things that I thought I'd share with you. So keep that in mind. If I say someone was nice to me, that doesn't mean they were nice to every single person. Different people have different experiences, and that doesn't mean that I'm like, you're the best, you do everything right, you're perfect, I stan you, just so you know. So let's go ahead and get into this. First of all, I need to do my homework because when I edit this video, I'm gonna need to put things in there. I do remember the celebrities' names, I do remember what they look like, but I don't remember all of the projects specifically that I met them on, so I can't say right now, oh, it was for this and this and this. So anyways, and this is in no particular order either. These are just what came to mind as I'm writing down my list. So the first one I remember meeting who was really nice to me is RITA, and this is when she first was starting out, years ago before she blew up. I remember doing a music video with her. What happens when you go and show up on set is you come in, you figure out where do I sign in, because they want to make sure you actually showed up so you can actually get paid. So you go and sign in, and then you get familiar with the area, where are the bathrooms, where's craft services. So I remember walking in, and I think I asked her because she was walking around. I was like, do you know where we sign in? And then she told me, she's like, I don't know, I just got here, I'm not sure. And she had an accent, and I was like, what a beautiful accent. I don't know who she is. Maybe she's an extra. And then I realized later, like, she's the girl that everybody is here for this music video. And it was a very long day in that music video, but she always had a really good attitude. She was always very positive, very nice to everybody, which makes a big difference to me when you treat all of the extras on set like they are human beings. Can I get a witness in the back? Isn't it nice to be treated like a human being when you come to work? So anyway, she was one of those nice people who actually treated us like human beings and were happy that we showed up for her project. And then afterwards, I remember seeing her like everywhere, and I was like, whoa, like she's a big deal. Who knew? So that's the first person. Let's go down the list. The next one is ROWLAND. So this was 2010. Yes, she did a music video. A lot of these are gonna be music videos, just so you know. So ROWLAND did a music video, and it was like in the middle of downtown on a rooftop. They had a scene where we're just dancing and singing to her song, and everybody just kind of partying. But it was kind of a small crew. So I just remember after everything had wrapped, and she was just really, really sweet. But after everything had wrapped, we were all still in downtown on the rooftop, very, very cold, very, very at nighttime. And we're all getting ready to go very late. I think it was like 2 in the morning or something, and I had to go to work the next day for my feature film. That's why, another reason why I remember this fondly is the very next day going to set on my feature film and being like, from an extra to an actress who's a lead, like, oh, Cinderella story. So anyways, after we had wrapped, she went around to every single person who was on the crew, who was in the cast as an extra, and she was like, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And she literally just took the time to look us in our eyeballs and say, thank you for being here today. And I was like, can I hug you? And she was like, of course, sweetie. And I hugged her, and I was just like, wow, like I hardly ever had this experience with people where they're just nice and personable and grateful that we showed up to work to be on their project. So that was really, really nice. Next person, Drake, another music video. So I did Drake's music video, Just Hold On, We're Coming Home, that song, I think, and I had never heard of that song before. So I don't even know if we knew who the artist was, because sometimes they would keep it secret. If you're going to be going on set, they don't want you to tell people like, oh my gosh, Drake is going to be here, because people would show up and they would just camp outside the set and whatever. So I remember showing up and I'm like, oh, this is the artist, this is the song, okay, cool. And I just remember him being just about work. You know, there's been some artists that I've been on set with where it's all about the ladies, they're showing up drunk, they're showing up high, but he was just like about getting his work done. I don't know what happened in his trailer or anything else. I just remember when I did have a little bit of an interaction with him was after we were all leaving and we were all done. I think he was right in front of me and someone else had like been pushing me or shoving me to try to get out of the exit. And I remember saying like, dude, like you're stepping on my feet or something. And he turned around and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, not you. You didn't do anything. People are like shoving me around. That's nice that if it was him stepping on my foot or doing something that he would say, oh, I'm sorry that I did that to you. So he just seemed very humble. And I remember watching him on his Degrassi days. That's how I even knew about him to begin with, was watching him on Degrassi. I used to love that show when I was in middle school. So him all grown up as a young man, it was cool to work with him. And the set was very professional. Everything was moving along very quickly. You don't usually see that on a lot of music video sets, so it was nice to have a nice environment to be a part of. So that was one of them. The next nice celebrity was Katy Perry, another music video. I was on Katy Perry's music video for last Friday night. I think that's what it's called, Friday night or last Friday night. And by the way, this is the first time I ever got IMDb credit on like a major thing that happened to be a music video. IMDb credit basically is like when you're a part of a legitimate production, they will give you credit on that website because you can look into the cast and crew of any like TV show, film, and you can see like who produced this, what awards did it get, who's acting in it. And I happen to be credited as a background actress. I think they credited everybody because they considered that a short film and not necessarily just a music video. But Katy Perry, she was really, really nice on set. What I did notice is that she seemed a little bit like sad, a little bit like distant, even though she was happy to be on her set and doing her job. And this was right before it came out that her husband that they were getting a divorce. So I think there was a lot weighing on her mind. So I can totally understand that. But I remember her having some of her best friends who would hang out with her on the side, and she was just really hyped up about the scenes and just interacting with all the actors and stuff and being grateful that we were there. And that was actually a 2-day shoot over the weekend back when it happened, so it was a huge production in a huge mansion. But anyways, that was cool. The extras were really nice. What wasn't great was like some of the crew members and some of the craft services did treat us a little bit like animals, and that wasn't okay. But Katy was nice and she seemed humble and everything like that. And another person that I met who's also a really nice celebrity from my experience was Kenny G. I've been listening to Kenny G's music because my dad was really into jazz. When I was like in elementary school, like just basically as far back as I remember, Kenny G was playing on the radio. So my dad really liked him, and I was just like, this is so crazy, like how long you know someone's music and it's with you basically your whole life, and then you meet them and it's kind of surreal. So I remember there was like a mosh pit scene, I think, where he's playing his saxophone, and then there's other people, like I think the band Hanson was there, which was a pop boy group back when I was in elementary or middle school. So Kenny G was standing right next to me, and I remember telling him like, hey, my husband actually said that you went to his church and you performed there like a long time ago. You probably don't remember. And he asked me like, well, what church was it? And I told him, and he's like, I think I do remember that. They were a really great church. And so I was just like, wow, he's talking to me. This is so cool. And he's just really nice. And I just remember shaking his hand and being like, it's nice to meet you. And he was just really nice, and he really enjoyed it. For someone who's surrounded by pandemonium and and he's just kind of chill and like cool. Like that was just really nice to meet and to see, and just be like, wow, not everybody has a big head, not everybody's super prideful that they're a celebrity or whatever. And another person who was really down to earth, I worked with her twice actually, KRISTEN, and she, a long time ago in Hawaii, I forget what year, she was promoting a movie that she was in with Russell Brand, and I forget the other guy and the other people, but I remember Russell Brand because he was like wild. That guy was wild. So anyways, they're being interviewed for the movie at a press junket. Basically what a press junket is, here's a little educational moments. So you'll have a movie that's being promoted, and instead of the actors going to a bunch of different studios to be interviewed for promo purposes, you will literally have people from all over the place fly in or drive in, or if it's in LA, I guess, whatever, walk in. But this was in Hawaii, so a lot of people had to fly in. But you'll have a lot of interviewers from different networks come to them and just take turns having interviews over and over again. So you hear them be answering the same questions all day and trying to keep up the energy, and it was hot and everything like that. So I remember meeting her, working with her, because I was a PA. This is before I started acting and doing all that. Just being a PA on set to collect all the tapes that people would record for their interviews so that they could get them organized so people would take the right ones home with them to give to their studio. When I'm in LA, full circle moment, like I'm an actress, I was a background actress, but there was a show they were doing called House of Lies, her and CHEADLE. I never saw this show, but I just remember being in a scene because I would be a background actress in a lot of TV shows. So I remember being in a scene where they're at some kind of conference table early on in this show. I think it was just coming out. So she was at the table, and they were just really professional, but they were just like willing to have a good time. Like they're joking in between takes and having really good back and forth chemistry. So she was really nice on that set. And also CHEADLE, he is really nice too. Like, and it's just nice when you see people not take themselves too seriously. Like, I'm an actress, I'm at work, I'm an actor. Like, they're just like, hey, if we're not on camera, like we're going back and forth, we're joking with each other, but when it's time to act, it is time. So they're very professional and just like really nice, and not feeling like I'm a diva about it. Everybody on that show was just like really sweet and kind. That was my only time, I think, working with CHEADLE, and I think he is an amazing actor, similar to KRISTEN. Both amazing actors. So the next one is Queen Latifah. I met her on her talk show. I think it was just called the Queen Latifah Show, maybe? Anyways, so I was in the audience. That's another thing that I would do, is do audience work, and that basically means that you will go to a show, sit in the audience, and they will record probably 2 or 3 shows in a day, and they just switch you guys around between shows so that they can have a full audience. Some people come in because they wanted tickets to the show and they're fans, but then a lot of the audience, just to keep it full, are paid to be there. That's a little insider tip. So if you see a packed audience on some shows, they are paid. Maybe if it's super popular, they're not paid. But on some of them, especially if they're first starting out, they're paid. I did Ricky Lake, I did Queen Latifah, and I think that Jeff Probst show, the guy who hosted Survivor, he had a show. I worked on that too. And then I forget another one. I think it was a game show. Anyways, when we were wrapping up that day, I remember sitting in the front row, and I was like, Queen Latifah's like right there, and she was interviewing John Travolta that day, and it's like they're right there, like I'm seeing them, they're talking, and it's like a weird, surreal thing to be that close. Not that you're fangirling out, but it's just like a surreal thing. Like, these people you see all the time on TV and in movies, and they're like steps away from you. So I remember at the end, she went around and shook everyone's hand. She was just really sweet, like, thank you for being here, and shaking people's hands in the front row, and just very humble, very glad to have her show. I think this is before it was even airing. It may have been like the 2nd or 3rd episode, but it was really nice to work with her. She was just very down to earth. And John Travolta was too. I didn't get to like shake his hand or anything, but he was nice to work with. I guess I'll put him on the list. John Travolta was also very nice to work with. So 2 other people who you probably know. The first one is P. Diddy. I did a promo for his network that was just coming out, but basically it was like pandemonium. Like, you had people falling off of buildings, you had people smashing stuff in the middle of the road, and it was supposed to be like anarchy, basically, like everybody's running through the streets. It was a very long day, and the crew was really nice too. But yeah, when P. Diddy actually did come to set, probably halfway through the day and he's running through the streets. I was just like, this is interesting, and like he's right there. Like I think he was steps away from me, and you just see someone that you see everywhere and it's like they're right there. But yeah, I think there was no funny business, there was nothing crazy. He was just there to work and to promote his network that was coming out, and that was it. And similar to that, I worked with Pharrell Williams when he was coming out with his network. Pharrell Williams, he had a promo for his network coming out, and it was at nighttime at some park near like Hollywood Hills, something like that. It was very cold, it was very dark, it was very like not the best ever set to be on, but the crew was really nice, and he was really nice. Again, like P. Diddy, he was just there to work and get things done, and he was nice to anybody who was in a close vicinity as he was. There was probably like 50 of us. I think it was like a lot of people. So 2 more people that you may not be too familiar with. One of them is Drew Seeley. He was in a lot of like ABC Family stuff, and he was a singer, so this was like a promo / music video that he did for ABC Family, and it wasn't a lot of people. It was maybe like 10 of us, and we're just like hanging out, and I think I had like a, well, I know I had this because I was there and I've seen it, but one of those like sparklers, and I think I burned somebody by accident. So we were just playing with sparklers and frolicking around and dancing, and I got to be seen for a little bit of that, so that was cool. But there was some downtimes and Drew Seeley would just be hanging out and just like a normal person. I think he was getting ready to be married at that point. But anyways, he was nice and easy to talk to, and he was just interacting with people like I'm a normal person, I'm a normal guy. So that was always nice to have people who are just humble and like, I'm just a person just like you. Anyways, and the last person is MIKA Newton, and she is one of the nicest people I think I've ever worked with. She was interacting and talking to people. She was new in America and starting her music career. I don't know if she really does that anymore, but she's more of a social media influencer. She's probably the first person I ever knew of who was a social media influencer working with brands, because this is like, it was a very new thing a few years ago. But yeah, she did a music video, and it was very positive, very uplifting, and I was featured in that. But the whole night was just really nice, and she was like just having regular conversations with people, telling them, oh, I like your outfit, you look so cute today, thank you for being here, I really appreciate you guys coming. And I was like, wow, that's so nice. And we had a little dance party at the end. But yeah, her crew was really nice, the day went really fast, and being featured is always like a plus. So that's the last person that I'll mention. I don't know if you guys know all of these people, but if you do, let me know if you've met any of them or if you have any interactions with celebrities that you'd want to talk about. I just thought this would be kind of a fun topic to just throw in the mix, a lighthearted thing, since you guys have been curious and asked me some questions about my career in acting. So yeah, that's what I had to say about that. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. You can share it if you want to. You can talk up to me in the comments if you want to. But anyways, that's it for this video. And if you want to see more of me, I'm here on Wednesdays and Sundays talking about my life and my walk with God, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my daughter as a mom. So all that kind of stuff, I'm opening it up to you guys on YouTube. So if you like stuff like that, don't forget to subscribe, and also hit the notification bell if you want to be notified. If YouTube decides that they want to notify you, hey, it can happen. It's your day. Do what you want to do. So anyways, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Another day, another video. Hi, I'm wearing sunglasses today because, what was the name of their group? Wow, Beyonce and them. I'm a survivor. I literally don't remember.